Hello, everyone. We're here with the Minish Cap any percent TAS. Hey, Tompa.
Yay! Hey, Myth. Good day, good day, good day, good day.
Oh, this is so exciting.
Finally done with this crap.
5 years. 5 years of work you spent on this since the summer of 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, it started in June. No, in May. Sometimes in May. So May 19.
May. Oh, was it for the? It was before angle retention. Then it was after the. Oh, it was before the GDQ run then.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Wow, we've had another GDQ run since.
There's been so many.
Welcome everyone in. Yeah, so do you want to kick this off right away, or is there anything you wanted to talk about at the start?
Nothing right now, I think. Maybe have a long cutscene to talk, do stuff anyway, so.
Yeah. How is audio levels, by the way, chat? Is Tompa good, and I good as well, versus the game audio? The game audio on this screen is really loud, so if that's at an audible level, then we're good to go. All's good? Okay, get a thumbs up from everyone. Yeah, cool, great. So,
Nice.
right, we'll get going then. So,
I need to be loud. Oh, I can adjust myself as well, but I guess Myth, in case I'm too loud. Testing.
where's the TAS? There is. Okay, found it.
Okay. Did you lose the TAS?
All right, so we've got the live split auto splitter running with input display. So the comparison is versus the current world record by Toad set earlier this week, which is at the moment is a oh crap, it didn't start.
Gotta reset already.
Don't worry, we'll get this going.
Eventually, it's all good. It's all good.
Right, actually going this time. I forgot. I already ran it at the beginning, and I forgot to reset the auto split. There we go. Okay, we are away.
Are we actually?
Yep, we're actually away. Cool.
Nice. Okay, first off, the obvious. This is in Japanese because the text is faster, well, there's less text in the game, and there are many glitches that only work in the Japanese version, as well as the European version. So having that out of the way. So as mentioned, this product has taken me slightly over 5 years to make. And one reason it took so long is because I had to redo so many times because of new findings. Other new glitches or things that Myth pointed out to me that, oh, you did a stupid mistake here, fix it. Yes, sir. And the RNG in the game has been such a struggle, so like it completely dropped the motivation for me, so I gave up for like months at the time.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
trying to my best to like be like, oh, is there anything I can do to help? Is there RNG stuff I can help you break down? And then those damn Kenstones. We'll get to them later, but yeah, they took a long time.
Yeah, so the start of the run here is mostly the same as the previous task that Mia included. So it's boring cutscenes mostly. So we can like start explaining things when they come up, like the new glitches and whatever.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's quite chill.
Yeah, we need a glitch embargo for the next year. No more glitches. After your previous task, a new glitch got discovered that basically overturned the whole game. But
indeed. Yeah, when the last task was finished, the previous task was finished, I said I won't return to the game unless the flippers are found to be skippable. And like 6 months or something after the task was done, flipper skip was found.
So a notable difference here you do from the RTA route is we do an RNG manipulation to get a blue rupee, but you are going to get rupees at different places because you're the TAS and you can choose the fastest place to get a rupee.
Yes, so there's going to be a lot of RNG manipulation for things like item drops or enemy movements. And that is more easily controllable in the TAS, but it's by no means easy to do. There's certain actions in the game that change the RNG, such as rolling. Every time you roll, it changes. Every time you slash your sword, it changes. So normally, if you want to change the RNG, you have to waste time to change it, in most cases. So I have to determine, like, okay, I can lose 5 frames to get a blue rupee here, for example, from a bush or whatever. But then it might be a later place where I can only lose 2 frames. So sometimes, like, I can take a easier path to make sure that I get it at all, because later on it might be too late to get the rupee. So the rupees I'm going to get here are after the first dungeon, which was sort of a gamble, but still a lot faster than the old TAS did. And also, feel free in the chat to ask anything about what's going on, and we can do our best to answer.
Yeah, I'll try and snipe some questions.
Yeah, I'm reading the chat all the time, so... And Myth, like, for this run here, he is the Minish cap god, pretty much. He knows the game better than most people, I'll say.
If I don't know the answer, it's probably no one knows.
Exactly. So, like, for many of these new glitches, like, I have no idea what's going on in the game's code or whatever, but he knows the details.
Oh yeah,
I'm just
there are some real, like, specific, like real technical stuff on, like, about GBA hardware and stuff that I'm not an expert at, and the people in Decomp are more qualified to talk about, but anything that applies to Minish Cap, more, like, if it's applicable at all to speedrunning, like, ask, I'll be able to answer.
Yeah. How does anger tend to smell like? Well, I had to redo the second dungeon because of it. And redoing all the time makes my head burn, so it smells burnt. It's probably the best answer. But yeah, the beginning, as said, is quite uninteresting.
I mean, it's a bit better than it used to be. Remember, there was no glitches until Fortress.
Yeah.
Which was basically halfway into the run, whereas we're going to see some fun stuff much sooner. I mean, this is the TAS, so, like, the sheer level of optimization is entertaining in of itself.
And there was the first RNG animals in the run. That lady can sometimes block your path. And I believe I had to change the RNG because she was blocking me. So, like, the first time RNG matters, I got bad RNG. And that's like the story of this TAS, pretty much. So now most of the intro is done here, after the cutscenes. And the first goal is to go to the forest.
Alright, you just saved 6 seconds over world record.
Nice. And rolling is mostly the best movement option, at least at the beginning. But a few things, like, you can't change the direction while rolling, you can stop the roll whenever you want. So something's faster to walk because you're gonna roll into, like, a wall or whatever, so it's faster to walk instead. And at times when Eslo starts talking, it's faster to walk into the cutscenes because the cutscene starts later for some reason. I never really understood why.
It's actually a bug that if you walk into Eslo, the text box doesn't load the correct timers, but it does load the correct timers when you roll into it. It's the opposite way around to, like, what you'd intuitively think. Like, Eslo's supposed to wait almost a full second before pulling up the text box, but if we walk into it, the first timer is just skipped, which is about half a second.
Yes, there will be a lot of damage boost coming up. This part here was different compared to the previous TAS. I had to change the RNG because of the start of the dungeon, People Shrine, and I couldn't get as many damage boosts and stuff at the beginning of the forest. Overall, this still saved time, but all run had some damage boost in this point already. while this one did not. But there will be a lot of damage boosters coming. And that's another thing, like sometimes I have to waste frames to manipulate enemies. And most of them are not going to be noticeable in the TAS though. I try to hide them as much as possible. For example, when you reach these stumps, all these stars make the RNG change every frame. So it's quite common that
portal items.
Indeed, if you use an item or even the R button to grab when you jump up on a portal, you save 3 frames. So every time I jump up on these, you're gonna see some kind of weird animation. Sometimes with the sword, sometimes when grabbing, sometimes with the no, not the bow.
You got the lily pad cycle.
Yeah, lily pad cycle.
So that has been done RTA in speedruns by Toads. They've managed to get it twice in runs. It's still insanely hard, but it saves about 3.5 to 4 seconds. It's good time saving.
Hey, it's really good. There's some minor movement mechanics that can be managed as well. When you Minish Link, if you roll against the corner, when you start to roll, you're normally standing still for a couple of frames before you start rolling. But if you roll against the corner, you can move while the roll is charging up, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that's going to be used quite often.
Yeah, when you're pushing against a corner, Link gets pushed like perpendicularly, like outwards away from the corner at exactly 1 pixel per frame, and that speed ends up being faster than a lot of the regular walking and movement speed throughout the run. So we want to intentionally push against corners because it's faster than walking as Minish, and especially during the charge up animation, as I said, where you're completely stationary, we can get some free movement.
Yes. For example, when you start the sword, you're going to move slower, so it's faster to push against the corner if you can. And there's a lot of sub-pixel management as well that you will never be able to see in the TAS.
Yeah.
Every roll is set up to manipulate the sub-pixels as well at the same time.
That 1 free frame of movement that you have before every roll to adjust your position without impacting the actual timing of the roll is really useful.
First onion. Okay, first small time save. The previous run didn't push diagonal to push the statue there.
How did you get
and that? Yeah, you can roll through enemies, and this room was really hard to manipulate, so that's why I didn't do the damage boost at the start of the forest to set up that room. So that was an extra cutscene where I didn't roll into it. I was walking into it in the last couple of pixels. So in this time, there are many RNG elements in every room, like this puff stool here, for example. It actually caused me to lose 2 frames from optimal movement. And these guys can give you a damage boost if you're lucky, and so on. It's a constant struggle with it. I also don't want to take damage too much, because getting health is it's not always easy to do without losing time. So I have to plan that as well.
Yeah, health is a really vital resource. You can always expend it to be able to get time saves from damage boosts, but it is a finite resource, and sometimes you need to expend some health to not lose a lot of time in a room. But it then factors in as well, where are we going to get the health to be able to pay for this in the future?
And right there, I actually did a shield boost from the slug. Yeah. That's not a new time saving from the old TAS. Shield boosts aren't that common to be used in this round, though. There's 2 of them in the entire round, I think.
Yeah, there was a big glitch in droplets that required it, but we found an alternate way of doing it that's faster, so we don't do that method anymore. But it's going to be useful later.
Yes. So the next room here is another really hard room to do properly because of the randomness. Because you need to bypass all these slugs here. And they like to be in your path all the time. And this is not optimal, but it's the best I could do under the circumstances.
Nice slide push. That's another optimization.
Yes. And this room also took me quite a while to do. I think it's worked out quite fine though.
Yeah, honestly, having the RNG for all of the Mondoses coming towards the middle of the room is so hard to get.
And all this, I've been setting up the puffs in this room to give me 2 damage boosts. Because when you're on these, the dust, you walk quite slowly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unfortunately, I didn't get the best RD pattern for this guy, but still save time overall. So there you can see me use the sword briefly, and every time there's some kind of waiting time, I can use that to slash the sword to change the R&D forward in time. So those slashes were used to manipulate the enemies here down when do the P-hat room, the lily pad room. So these guys, the pestos, they're nasty. Oh, the lily pad, what to say? The fastest lily-pad movement is not to go straight in a line. You want to go diagonal in a way, but because it takes time to change Link's direction to shoot in a different direction, it takes so long so that you don't always save time doing it. But you want to go diagonal, and you can get some corner boosts around the corners as well if doing properly. And it's also good too if you can take damage, because that cancels the animation, so you can easier do something else, quicker do something else like that. I'm taking damage here again to switch change earlier. Oh yeah, tutorial. Yeah, I got the blue rupee, which also gave an item cutscene pickup to explain that. Oh, this is a blue rupee. One thing with the gust jar here is quite annoying. It's not always faster to walk in a straight line to grab onto the mushrooms. You can jump at the same time by walking diagonally and with the mushroom grabbed earlier for some reason. It's really stupid how the dust particles work.
Yeah,
so,
I've looked at the hitboxes as it like when you activate the gust jar, and it is just these expanding boxes from the mouth of the gust jar like forwards, and they extend. If you do it side to side, it extends a lot upwards. It's like an upwards curve. It's odd and it's very counterintuitive. So yeah, there's some weird movement to do to make it.
Hit the first boss. It's quite simple. When you suck, you can just suck it. You suck the boss so it kind of stays down for a bit, but it stays down at random amount of time, and you can't get more damage in each round. So you want to have it stay down as short a time as possible, which is easy to manipulate, but still a small note to do. There's the first heart, so I'm getting a text box as well.
Yeah, so you only need to damage this boss a set number of times. 4 in the first cycle, 5 in the second, and 4 again in the third. And yeah, you're just constantly manipulating its position so that it's in the center of the room, and it spends a minimum amount of time wobbling before it falls down on the ground. And then the amount of time it spends on the ground is random, and you're just RNG manipulating it, so it's always choosing the smallest value. And then the last cycle, it can choose to either jump once and then rush at you, or jump 5 times, and again, you just minute to get the fastest pattern, which one jump.
Yeah. And during this fight, I was also manipulating things that's about to come after the dungeon. I'm gonna use a bomb to destroy some blocks and get rupees from it. And those rupee drops were manipulated from during the boss fight.
Would it be faster to save and quit after the second key, or going back from that room to the gust jar afterwards? It is slower to do the save and quit. We can use the gust jar to skip the puzzles in those earlier rooms, but retracing those rooms is just slow in comparison to the route back to the barrel room that we normally you do.
Hmm. So bombs are good. They will be used in some glitches, but they're not as useful in like some of the 3D games, sadly. But they are nice to have. So here's the first small glitch called a roll lift. If you lay down a bomb, there's a timer set for it when it's gonna explode. I'll say some manipulation for 2 rupee drops. There's a timer for when the bomb is going to explode. But if you pick it up and throw it, you can decrease the timer to make it blow up faster. And at the moment when you lay down the bomb, you can roll and pick it up at the same time. And if you do, you're gonna pick up the bomb and drop it instantly. So the timer is reset much lower. So for most bombs I'm gonna use in the run, I'm gonna roll at the same time to make it explode faster. Sometimes though, if you have to walk a long distance, it can be faster to not do the roll instead of just walking.
Yeah, roll lifting isn't just going to be used on bombs, you're going to use it on some other things. It's really interesting what happens. The object gets placed underground relative to its position instead of up in the air. I don't fully understand why it does it, but that's what happens. It goes underground, and then when it's underground for like 1 frame, and then snaps to the surface, and it hits the ground.
And it's the first SWAT technique in the run. There are many that will theoretically save time in the run, but it takes too long to get. But the spin attack we need. And normally you will need it to show this guard right here that, I can do a spin attack, but we're gonna do a different glitch instead.
It's interesting you go from an even further position than we do in RTA and still get it. It's
Yeah. So what happened there was on the small, the walkway, the rocky walkway, there's no respawn point if Link walks down into a hole or a water. But it was close to the sign. So I went to the tile next to the sign, and then only went to the rock places before I went down to the water. So when the game is about to reset Link's position, I'm taking back all the way close to the guard instead. And normally the camera has to pan slowly back to Link. And if it does, the guard is going to start moving before you can, and you can't get past him. But if you use an inventory menu, you can set the camera back instantly and start walking earlier. So you can bypass the guard without having to use the spin attack.
nice timed roll there to avoid the damage from the bottom.
Yeah, sometimes possible. I used now the portal item, but I did it with the R button to grab onto it. And that saves time in the animation.
I like to call it itemless portal items.
Oh yeah. And this area in the mountain is also hard when it comes to R&D, as most places. Both these small guys here, but like all enemies, the Tektites, etc. But in this area, the R&D is changing several times every frame, most of the time. So sometimes I have to delay walking into a room or the next screen by 1 frame to change the RNG. That's gonna happen a few times. It's still never helpful. I think I can save time in this whirlwind, or did I ever do that? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did some analysis and figured out how gliding works, and yeah, there's a lot of optimizations that can be done to gliding, but because those glide sections are so short, all you can do is save a frame. In things like the glitchless route, you can save seconds. With the improved glide movement that we understand.
I would think it's funny that Link can carry this big seed without having the power bracelets.
Yeah.
It should be quite heavy as Minish Link, but okay. So I mentioned that the hearts is that's a rare resource sometimes, quite often, but bombs are as well. So I need to look for every opportunity to get bombs, and see if I can do it. But here I also needed money, so a 5 rupees is gonna manipulate here. But when I go into the cave here soon, I can manipulate a bomb drop. That's also faster to do in the cave because I can skip a text box. But I really need bombs throughout the run. I'm quite low on them all the time. So here I use a bomb down right to destroy the bushes, and this is only to change the RNG in the next coming rooms. So that bomb as well. That bomb is gonna kill the P-hat, and that changes the RNG for the upcoming areas. Because in between rolls you have 1 frame where you can do a movement, and you can also put down a bomb for free. It doesn't cost you any time. But I also have to take into account that I'm gonna waste a bomb. Am I gonna need that bomb later or not? Can I manipulate it? Etc. So I had this bomb route planned that I had to adjust a couple of times because of it. And those rocks can be, they're random as well, can be in the path, dropping onto you. I can't remember this time how much I had to adjust the RNG for them, but I think I had to change it a few times. I mentioned this the other day when Toads was doing a run, because like this room here, I hate it so much. It takes so long to push these boulders around.
Yeah, that's one of the really sought after things in this game, is finding a way of skipping to the next dungeon so we don't have to do all of this. It's close, like people have found out of bounds here, but it just doesn't get us to the right spot to actually get to the dungeon. We get close, but then we just get stuck in a place that...
Yeah, correct. I'm not gonna get any bomb upgrades. They take way too long. And I can't do anything special with more bombs. How many runs with Delva? Since it's a two-list speedrun, like I'm recording this frame by frame and with save states. So like the whole run isn't dead because of bad RNG. I just had to change some earlier parts in the run to like add an extra sword slash to change the RNG or something like that. So it's not the whole thing is dead because of bad RNG. But I have sometimes have to redo lots of parts because of it. But for this one, it wasn't faster to do a roll lift, it was faster to just walk with the bomb.
Yeah.
And there RTA picks up path there.
You can throw the bomb and miss the switch. We always normally get that switch, but...
Yeah.
And yeah, we would normally get a red rupee from the pot there, but you obviously could avoid that and get the money we need elsewhere.
Yes. So the run as mentioned has been fairly glitch-free so far, but that's going to change in the second dungeon. And then things are going to just keep happening after that.
Yeah, this is the last real section of like just intentional gameplay from this point on. It's just an absolute mad rush.
Prediction started? Oh my, it's Gamba time.
Oh, Twitch is running an ad. Love the new changes, Twitch.
Gotta love them. So right here, you won't see it, but I delay at the rock to change the RNG. Because this upcoming room here in the dungeon is quite a struggle. So not the first two, they are fine. The second one can be a bit annoying, but the third room is the worst. Because that is these beetles I need to kill. And that I love it. It's great.
Yeah, that's a real cool fight.
And there's some interesting glitches you can do in this room. We've tried for a long time to hit the lever earlier, but it just can't be done. But this right here is a good part because it's always dropping bombs. And bombs are needed.
I've never tried hitting that switch. I'm wondering if we can clip 8 pixels here into the wall, which is the maximum we can do, if it's theoretically possible.
No, I've tested. No, you're way too far away still, sadly.
Yeah. That was... Well, then, yeah, then it's almost certainly not possible.
And yeah, and that...
that was a fight, yeah. The bombs killing 3 of them.
Yes. That was also a very difficult room, because they can... Enemies always spawn at the same place, but they can move in so many different directions. So that took me quite a while to do.
Just rolling
so
through the fire, because, you know,
yeah.
it's worth losing health.
Slightly faster to do. And here I'm gonna add lots of sword slashes.
Okay, so we got the first major glitch coming up, which is angle retention. This got discovered since the last TAS, and yeah, basically we can jump out of a hole and in a diagonal direction, and it gives Link a diagonal facing value. And the game doesn't expect Link to have a diagonal facing value, so certain interactions look at Link's facing value to know what to do, like when we're pushing and pulling objects. So we're going to use the diagonal value to pull this pillar diagonally out of bounds, like so. And it's going to, we're going to drop it onto the loading zone tile for the edge of the screen, and it deletes it. And we're going to pull it back in bounds to grab the key, because we need the key for a door coming up, and it's fast to get it from this spot. Now that the loading zone's gone, we can go out of bounds to a later section of the dungeon, completely skipping the minecart. And we time our position perfectly to line up with the bridge, like so.
Hmm. We have to manipulate the heart drop because I'm gonna take a lot of damage in the next section. So that also took me a while to do. So normally I have to go down there and go around to the minecart, as Benson mentioned, but we can just skip that.
Oh, nice damage boost there.
Yeah, the nice thing about damage boosting as Minish Link is you can take the damage boost while you're starting up the roll. So you get the boost and then you start the roll. And that can save some additional time. So that wasn't all the time we're going to use the angle retention glitch. In this room we are going to as well. So the idea here is to clip out the bounds. First we need to get the lever stuck up in the wall here. RTA used the roller bites to set up the damage boost I needed, but I'm going to use a bomb instead. So when you grab it, Link is the transport like in the upper corner of the lever. Then they have to take damage to get pushed up on the ceiling, and that puts Link in the wrong background layer, so I can walk through walls and essentially go to the boss instantly.
One of the cool time saves that you get in the TAS versus RTA is that there is one frame at the end of holding the inputs to jump out of the hole, where you can choose a different direction for Link to jump out of, but you still maintain the angle retention of the direction that you initially held for like the 6 frames leading up to that point, so you can charge up and jump in a different direction. So when it looked like Tompa was jumping out of the hole, like directly to the side or not diagonally, they still were charging up to get a diagonal facing value.
And also, some may have noticed that I didn't use a roll lift at the bomb to make it explode faster. Because I needed the bomb to be stuck in the wall quite high up to be able to take damage from it. And if you do a roll lift, I couldn't do that and still get damaged properly. So I had to wait for the entire bomb exploding time. T-posing!
T-posing.
So if you spam the R button to grab it, Link can be stuck in that animation to just like he's T-posing. So for the final hit here, it's so faster to get hit by the fire, so you can run straight up onto Gleog. And you want to face down to for this cutscene to be slightly faster.
I'm not exactly sure the movement speed you have when you're on fire. I think it's 3 pixels per frame, which is the same as full dashing speed. The end of a roll... Okay, so rolling is interesting in terms of like the movement speed. It's exactly 2 pixels per frame for a large portion of the roll, but then for like 10 or so frames at the end of the roll, it accelerates, and the peak at the very end of the roll, the last couple frames, you're traveling faster than full dashing speed, but because the overall time period that you do that acceleration is so small at the very end of the roll, it's not faster overall. But it was just like an interesting thing to figure out. It's like how fast it is rolling.
Okay, up next is another huge skip. So I'm gonna let it be shown first.
Yeah, I don't think this needs any explanation. At least moving this guy. Like, how? That's incredible.
So I'm gonna explain it soon.
This is Crenel clip. We're charging up a push value by pushing against the rollerbite, the rock beetle, and then using the sword slashes to like preserve that, and then get clipped into the wall. And because we charge up the push value and we're against a ledge, it jumps us out of bounds. And then we just do some out of bounds movement to get to this sign as quickly as possible.
I also did a glitch with the bottle to prevent Link from taking damage from enemies. By using a bottle and cancelling it on a sign, you can walk through enemies without anything happening, and that is also required to do this. So what this script is, it didn't really take me down the mountain faster, but I got to the sign on the left side of Hyrule to start the Pegasus Boots cutscene quest. And normally you have to go to the castle to upgrade your sword to the Force Sword and be able to clone Link. But now you don't have to do that. And thanks to this, you're gonna set up a lot of time savers later on. There's a big cutscene that is skipped. There's one cutscene that's gonna happen later in the run. And we essentially skip one trip to the Hyrule Castle as well. So it's a very big time saving for many reasons. A save quit here is slightly faster if you have to do an inventory change as well.
So there are some interesting consequences of like this glitch. Like, it lets us avoid having to go to Cave of Flames first. Well, we would need the boots to go and do Swamp, but a method of doing the Swamp without using boots has been found, so theoretically we could do a low percent run which avoids getting the boots right now. We'd have not gone to Cave of Flames immediately. Instead, like the first trip to Crenel, we would have done this the Crenel clip to get to this get to Swamp, go through the Swamp to Fortress of Winds and get the Ocarina, and then we can do Fortress before doing Cave of Flames. Oh, it all turns out to be slower for any percent purposes, but it's the first time we can do dungeons out of order in this game, which is interesting.
And there we got a green kinstone. One change in this task compared to the previous one is that we need 4 green kinstones to fuse. I was gonna get us the magical boomerang. We're gonna explain why later. But throughout the whole run, I've been trying to find places where I can manipulate them, as they're quite rare drops from some bushes and grass and a few enemies. So that specific one was done, this one, was done through trial and error. Meaning I just tried to change RNG in hope that I get a green kinstone. But later on I started using an RNG script that was made by Henny in the community. And with that script I can put on put on my values, like how many bombs I have, what state in the game I am in general, because that changes the RNG. And then I can see, like, oh, in 5 RNG values, you can get a green Kinstone from this boost, for example. And this way I can plan out better to where I have to change RNG and where I'm able to get the item drops I need. Not only Kinstones, but also bombs and arrows and hearts and stuff. And that tool was essential to be able to finish this run properly. It's a really good tool.
Yeah, it's not just good for the TAS, we can use it for when we're making new manipulations for RTA as well. It becomes so easy when you know it's like, hey, during this fight we want to get a red Kinstone from this Dark Nut, say, and it's like, well, here's the RNG values that we can enter the fight on. Do we get a drop soon?
Now we had the boots, so we're gonna start running quite a lot. Running is the fastest way of movement, but it takes a while to charge up. It's sometimes fastest roll anyway. Like if there's only 2 rolls, it can be fastest roll than to use the boots. But the boots have other good abilities because, like, you can run into enemies, for example. You take damage, but still can be faster.
Yeah, so Swamp we're going to not be going to go get the gold Kinstones.
Yes.
We do not need them.
And that's on the big skip for this task compared to the one before. So this lily pad section, it was improved so much because of diagonal movement and getting corner boosts.
Did you not do that in the 2016 TAS?
And not as good as this now.
Oh, okay.
We improved it. Oh, this room is under pain.
Oh my god.
This also took a long time to manipulate.
Yeah, I remember you were stuck there for a while.
Oh, yeah. There are 5 of those small dosers you have to kill, and they go all over the place. So there's so many different options. Okay, do your magic myth.
Yeah, so this is P-Hat clip. We're manipulating this P-Hat to this spot here. So, really interesting. This left bridge has just an exposed corner, so we put the P-Hat in the corner and it pushes us through, and then we're on layer 2 out of bounds and can skip the entirety of Swamp. We land in the Wind Ruins out of bounds. We're off screen at the moment, and we just dash to the right, and then we can touch the loading screen on the top and enter the dungeon and skip like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, so that both skip the collecting of the Kinstones, the golden Kinstones, as well as the whole next area, the Wind Ruins. So it's a huge time saver. And because we never got to upgrade the sword, so we can't clone links, we have to find different ways to do this puzzle right here. When armor statues stop moving, they become like a solid block, and the blocks can push Link. So we use that to push Link into the armors next to him, so I can grab the lever without being able to move it first.
Skipping shrinking there is so fast. We save like 30-40 seconds.
Mm.
And now we're just heading to the mitts.
Yes. And during this dungeon here, I need a red Kinstone drop from this Dark Knight coming up. So I was watching the tool to see how many RNG calls I need to get extra or to reduce, to get the drop. So I have to do this place many times to get the outcome I needed to get this Kinstone right here. And that Kinstone is going to be used to unlock a shortcut to the second to last dungeon.
Yeah, unfortunately there's no way of getting to the mitts without getting a small key, and that small key that we got from pulling the lever is the fastest small key we get, so we have to do the dungeon this way around. But that's theoretically a way of speeding things up. If we could get to the mitts faster, we can cut this dungeon in half.
And again in the armor's room, we need to get to the portal on the left side. But we can't become Minishling, so we have to do another clip with the armor statue. The bomb here is used to speed up the movement from the armors. Otherwise, you can walk very slowly. But damaging with the bomb makes him speed up quite a bit. If you do portalize right here with the myths, we can get a collision hit with the bits to get up at the ceiling, and then get a damage boost from the bomb to get up, so we can walk straight to the boss fight. And this was done in the old TAS as well.
Alright, so this boss is seriously impressive. Like, it's so much faster than we can do RTA. It's like unreal.
So while you're using the bow, there's a long animation after you shoot the arrow, but you can cancel that with the boots. So that's some quick shooting. And as you see, I don't have much health left, so I have to avoid taking damage from now on. Yeah, but I actually want to be low in health because I'm gonna do a death abuse later on for a glitch. So being low in health is on purpose.
A death abuse in a Zelda game? Say it ain't
Oh,
so.
boy. And that eye can spawn in the same pillar twice in a row. So I can only get them to spawn in the middle, then one on the sides, and right is faster than left. And then spawn in the middle as well here. So this is the third cycle and the boss is dead. Our previous task got the heart right here because it was also low in health, and it was the fastest way to refill health. But it's meant that we don't need health. We don't want health at this point, rather. So the heart is skipped, saving some additional time. So next up, it's going to be a completely different route compared to old TAS. Normally at this point in the game, you have to collect the books to return to the library. And that takes forever, and the reward you get is the power bracelets as well as the flippers. But this TAS is going to skip both of them. And that requires us to first get the boomerang, the magical boomerang. And to do that, you need to defuse with Tingle and his siblings to unlock these openings here. This whole section is gonna be to just walk around to those tingles and do the fusing.
It was also a route for quite a few years, which required us to go and get a second bottle, which we would have done at that point. We would have collected a second red kinstone and gone and fused with the smith in Link's house, and then taken some time to go and get the bottle that spawns somewhere in South Hyrule. And overall, that costs about a minute, and yeah, we've been able to just completely eliminate that because of not needing a second bottle.
And then some nice RD place to get the Kinstone drops, which you will never see in our RTA run in that matter. So here's a new glitch coming up here. So first I have to hit the tree, and then we have to re-enter the building here to reset Link's spawning position.
Oh no, Link died.
So if you die in a doorway, you can have the door open, and then when you use the ocarina in the door opening, you can activate a glitch called Ocarina Glitch, which is a state where Link can... the game is in a paused state in a way, but Link can still walk around. And many interactions are going to be quite different. Such as jumping up on the stump there. So the game is trying to jump up on a different coordinates if it's in the upper left corner. So that's why Link is sliding to the left. And I can then jump out of the portal items animation to jump up on the cliff. So then normally you reach that tingle by fusing Link. You have to do a 3-man fuse to push a block inside that cave. But we don't have that upgrade, so this trick here is required to get the tingle right now.
Yeah, we're trying to delay getting the sword upgrade as late as possible, because if we can do it after the next dungeon, then we can get 2 sword upgrades at the same time, which saves a whole trip to Hyrule Castle. So there's that saves a lot of time. Also here we're playing the ocarina and then starting the fusion cutscene and making sure that Zephyr is directly above Link when this menu opens up, And it means that when the cutscene's over, then Zephyr grabs us, and we get to skip the text box that plays immediately after the cutscene.
That's the fourth and final Tingle sibling. So now we need to enter all each of these trees here to get the boomerang. And then we're on to the next dungeon. So this part right here is kind of slow.
Yeah, and the magic boomerang is really important to skip the flippers, but it's so slow to get. We would really appreciate a way of... There's only one thing we need to do in Temple of Droplets without the magic boomerang, and then we can completely cut it from the run and save a lot of time. Because it's so it's all just cutscenes.
There are. And to clarify, we need a magical boomerang. The normal boomerang won't cut it, which you can buy in the shop. But that also requires us to get the wallet upgrade as well, which takes some time as well. But
the magic boomerang's special because you can control it mid-air, and whilst you're holding the button whilst it's mid-air, it locks Link's position, and that has unintended side effects. So there's this.
So instead of dying, you can also be pushed by an enemy in this case to get the door opening without Link entering. So I can use the opening this. And that room was really hard to do because I also needed a bomb drop from the bush, as well as a good RNG for the Octorok to walk upwards. And combining these two was quite hard. This was not the theoretical best outcome, but the best I could do under the circumstances. So this dungeon is going to be quite different compared to last TAS. So the beginning is slightly different here because we first got a small key in the old run, but this time we need the big key instead. So we activate the operating glitch, get up here on the stairs, that puts us in the wrong backend layer, so we can skip the small key and run to the big key instead.
This dungeon has had so many changes over the years, because in the intervening time we've had other routes that did make use of the boss door clip that we're going to be doing here, but to get to the midway point of the dungeon so that we can activate the switches faster. But now we've got a route that it completely avoids activating the switches to open the boss fight, and we're just going to be clipping into the boss fight. But here's going to be the boss door clip with the magic boot.
So when the boomerang is used, if you hold down a button, Link is gonna stand still, and you can control the boomerang. But you can also press the button while the boomerang is moving. And if you do that while walking in the boss room, Link will not trigger the next transition to the next screen. It's just gonna walk past it. So you're gonna get out of bounds, and you can walk through the walls and get to the mini boss room earlier. Sadly, the lantern is completely unskippable at the moment because you needed to kill Octorok.
Yeah, and seeing as this game is very well put together and all of the elements are required, we can't do like an OOT and only get the last element and then the game thinks, oh, we've got the last one, then you must have got one. No, it checks every single one in order, so we can't just do that. So unless there's some crazy item manipulation to give us the 4-sword early without getting all of the elements, every dungeon is going to be required, so we have to beat every boss.
But if you didn't need the lantern, we can skip the medical boomerang as well. Well, that will make the last dungeon slower. But you only do this quest to get to this fight earlier to be able to also skip the flippers, which this does. But you also need the lantern as mentioned. And this boss fight is mostly the same. I can use spin attack at the very end to do 2 quick spin hits and kill the last fates faster.
So the lantern is like the magic boomerang in that we can also use it to do boss door clip. So it has that side use as well, but since we already have the magic boomerang, its only real use is going to be for this boss fight.
And here comes the new amazing
Yeah.
Octo's clip.
This is the newest trick found. We found it like 4 months ago. And you already got way past this point. You were on Vati for the with the TAS before it got found.
Yeah. So the old method here used the death and a shield boost ocarina to get the clip, but now we just roll into battle and let the pattern we are through.
Yeah, ice physics is janky. We can roll into the corner things and it pushes us in a weird way that lets us just clip into the corner.
But because that corner doesn't have a collision proper, so we can, with some backwards momentum of 1 pixel in each direction, we can clip through the corner and go through. So Octorok, he is stupid. I need the right angle for the Octorok to reduce his movement between each hit. And right here I need an angle that's straight into the wall. But that means the rocks can be stuck between the wall and the Octorok. And then I have to take damage to keep the rocks in place. So what this does is, because each time you hit with the rock, Octorok is going to be paused his movement. But if I have all 3 rocks out at the same time, I can hit him earlier. But setting that up is quite tricky with the angle and having to take damage. But for the second phase, the last phase, I only need to hit him quite straight into it.
Nice. Yeah, you're going to be saving a lot of time here because of the... You did a lot of manipulating Octo's angle to minimize the amount of bashing against the wall they were doing.
Zero ink, indeed, Nimbus. The Octorok has an attack where he shoots ink from his mouth and make the room dark. And for RTA, there are the manipulations to avoid that. But back in the days, it was a huge pain, and you just lost a lot of time and you can do nothing about it.
I'm working on a manipulation that's more similar to the movement that you do, especially like the first movement that Octo does to like only do bonk the wall like once and then run into the corner. Like I've managed to emulate that, and it saves maybe 10 seconds in RTA, which is fantastic.
Yes, now we need to go to the next dungeon, the Palace of Winds, but we have to get this sword upgrade right now, because there's a room in the dungeon where the first room, the second room, where you have to push a block that requires 3 legs. So you need to get here. And because we skipped a cutscene earlier, there's no longer the guards blocking the path into the dungeon, the castle. At this point, you normally have to go to the sideway on the left side for the garden. But there are no guards blocking you, so you can just walk through here instead.
Yeah.
And because we haven't upgraded this sword at all, we have to do 2 upgrades at once here, so we need to do a saving quit after the first one to be able to get the second one. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, the pillar doesn't load the next sword to be collected until the room's been reloaded. So we have to reload the room somehow, and we can either use the red sword to demonstrate the clones, leave the room, and then come back in, get the sword again, and then have to do another puzzle to escape, or we could just do a save and quit, and the save and quit is obviously faster.
Yeah, and that block in the dungeon, we have tried so many ways to bypass it. Like, it's so close, but we almost missed that one factor that makes it work. So I do think it's going to be possible in the future, but right now it isn't.
Luckily, we've got an ad break during this downtime period.
Oh,
before
nice.
we get to the next dungeon.
So that's the first time we clone Link. And then we have to upgrade the sword again. So if that block can be skippable, we can avoid this trip to the castle completely and do all these sword upgrades at the same time. But as it stands, we can't.
Yeah, it is the only required use of the blue sword.
But as mentioned in the chat as well, the boss fight in the next dungeon, Georg, you more or less have to clone Link, but it is possible to do without, but it's gonna be much harder. But for a TAS, it's mostly trivial. But that can be one annoying part to have to not be able to clone Link. So before we set up a warp point, a portal that was done for the defusing, we go down to the portal right now, and we can, with the help of the Ocarina glitch, access the dungeon early, which skips the falls and the whole cloud area. Which is again an old glitch that's been done in old TAS since.
Yeah, this trick is like 25 years old. Not 25. 15. God. Almost 20. I mean, the Minish Cap's about to turn 20.
So with the extra cutscene here, if we had something to shield boost off from this room, we could activate Ocarina glitch, and that will allow us to skip the block that's coming up here. Also, this room is cool, because I do a lot of fancy things with the P-hats. I've taken damage to drop the skull earlier and stuff. Ideally, I wanted to get an item drop from those skulls, like bombs or a heart, but I wasn't able to. And also, all these slashes done right here are to manipulate the next coming rooms. So many slashes, and I still need more here. So I want this room here to... First off, the stars need to be out of the way, and this firebar needs to be in that exact position, because dancing with the fire is faster there. And this fight is fast and nice. So here's a good place where all the bombs are needed. As most of them will kill bombs.
So good. Look at those item drops.
So this skip right here is old when you jump to the platform. The skip in the next room is not as old.
Yeah, this whole dungeon is going to be quite different to RTA, and is actually going to be the biggest time save you're going to get in all TAS. Because of just some TAS only strats that is just not viable RTA. So here's stair clip. There's just an exposed corner on that staircase, a developer oversight, and we can just dash it from a precise position and get on layer 2 and completely skip that floor. There was so many slow platform rides that we'd have to do. The RTA route does that trick, but then, oh yeah, there's this. Oh, there's so much that goes on in this.
So much.
So that's an Ocarina boost. We play the Ocarina at the same time that we shield off an enemy, and we can slide while playing the Ocarina during the time frozen and skip the layer transition on the staircase. Again, getting onto layer 2 and going out of bounds. But it's not the only Ocarina related glitch that we're going to do, because this is old faithful cutscene Ocarina glitch. Playing an Ocarina the frame the cutscene ends gets us Ocarina glitch, and then we have Ocarina glitch so that we can walk over voids and get to this small key faster. Yeah, RTA spends some time to go get another key, which is RTA viable, because these tricks are ridiculously difficult. They are frame perfect, so we don't want to do that. And it saves a lot of time. Like,
it does, yeah.
30 seconds.
And the cutscene Ocarina glitch, that takes... It's only one frame, but if you miss it, you don't have a second chance at all.
Yeah.
Because normally you can just keep trying until you get it, but that is one shot only, and if you fail it, yeah, run instead if you go for that route. So there's the boss door clip. This time done with the lantern instead of the boomerang. And that completely skips the second half of the dungeon. Enormous time saver.
Yeah, the previous TAS basically did the entire dungeon, like, the intended way, right? Because it was before boss door clip.
So this boss right here, when these 8 eyes spawn, there's a timer set when you have to hit at least 3 of them at the same time to be able to do any damage at all. So for each hit I have to choose with 3 to damage, and then keep changing the direction with length to be able to hit all 8 eyes in a session that makes him be damaged many times in a row. But for that one, it was faster to not clone because it takes too long to clone Link. And as I'm low in health, I also need some heart drops here from these mini Yorgs. And that's the fight.
Very nice. Yorg is a fun boss.
No, it's not a fun boss. You're wrong. It's an awful boss. But it's nice and quick. So now there's only one dungeon left in the game, which is Dark Hyrule Castle. But because we skipped a cutscene earlier, that is normally... when you first upgrade the Force Sword, you're gonna get a cutscene that explains Vatis and Eslo's backstory in a way. But as we have to go to that area right now, so we have to be forced to watch it. Which is up here.
Yeah, we thought we had so many ways of like being able to skip this. All we need to do is get like an Ocarina glitch somewhere in this room, and we would be able to skip this. But we can't get Ocarina glitch anywhere here in this section of Hyrule Field. We can only do it in other parts of it. Can we break out of bounds in this Moblin fight? If we could also go to like skip the we can go and activate a switch to activate a cutscene that lets us then skip to the castle, but we can't break out of those walls. There's so many things that are close but not quite good enough to be able to skip this. And obviously, I think the most likely is if we were to find a way of skipping that first block at the beginning of Palace, then we wouldn't have to upgrade our swords ever until the very end of the run.
And normally at this point, like the ladder there is not supposed to be there, but you can't enter because these cutscenes, these loading zones don't work during the cutscene in this area. You can trigger the cutscene and then have you play the ocarina and the bird take you away from it, but it's gonna keep playing every time you go there. You can't skip it that way either.
Yeah, the flag for that whole fight being done triggers after the cutscene's played and Eslo's talked to us before jumping on our head. The moment it hits our head, that's when the flag gets set. So we can't even exploit that.
So here's the last sword upgrade, so now we can clone Link another time. It's not gonna be long cutscenes right here. That's pretty much the same cutscene as the start of the dungeon, start of the game. Say we do a mandatory. Oh no, the game reset glitch or whatever.
Yeah.
Bad.
This is the last downtime period before the end of the run.
Yeah, the final dungeon also has some new tricks up its sleeve to shorten the time. And as you can see, the timer it's quite far ahead compared to the world record at the moment.
Yeah, we can see the comparison versus Community Sum of Best as well. By the way, the golds for this live split has been against Community Sum of Best, while the main comparison has been against the world record. So this is against Community Sum of Best, and basically every single split you have done faster, despite having to do a lot of other stuff that should make it slower. I think the closest split is the fire element. RTA we've managed to get within half a second of TAS, but that's just because the fight is an auto-roller.
And also the previous TAS time is when converted to a better emulator, it's 1 hour and 41 minutes.
Yeah, I believe I did the timing for
RTA. Yeah.
For RTA, it was a 1:37 something. I think it was a low 1:37, like an 18 or something like that.
So here's the start of the last dungeon. So this room right here, the people have been turned into statues, and if you revive them at the same time as Esther start talking, we can walking around while they are being revived. And that saves a lot of time here. So fancy running.
Right, so here we're doing stair clip again. That corner, that staircase, and the one that we saw in Palace of Winds are the only two corners in the game which are missing collision that allow us to do that. And luckily, they're perfectly in the places that we need to be actually useful. There's no other stairs in the game. But there's one also very close, in the basement of Dark Hyrule Castle, but we just don't go to that room, so it's not useful.
Sadly, after getting the boss key, you can't use the opening glitch to bypass the last area, or to get the big key early. You tried many different ways, but there's no way because of the layers are worked out.
It was a very cool idea he wanted to do in that room with knocking Link into an Eslo trigger with the Ocarina boost to get Ocarina glitch. But it turns out to not be faster.
Yeah, we have to wait an extra cycle for the statues to shoot out the small rocks to do the setup with the bombs. So sadly, it wasn't faster to do. It's the whole idea of this time is to get 4 keys to get the big key and then go to the final boss. And we have like 5 options or 6 options maybe to get the keys. It's gonna look quite similar where we use a saving quit, do the Ocarina glitch, go out of bounds, and run down to get the key, and then use another saving quit. That's gonna be the idea for the first 2 here. Well, like the second and the third, rather.
Yeah, one of the things that we've been looking into a lot is if we can get on layer 2 in the later section of Dark Hyrule Castle, we can skip directly to the final boss. And there's a lot of spots that we do get onto layer 2, but there's we're just stuck and aren't able to do anything with it. So we're stuck to getting keys for the time being.
So normally this dungeon is quite long, but we are skipping like everything doing this method.
Up right, I think you're one RNG cool late on. We have a manip that we use visual cues on the Gyptos to know what the RNG is.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, so this opening this here is mostly done to be able to bypass these doors.
You dash this.
Yes. Okay, so the previous task they got the northeast key, but I'm gonna switch out to take the northwest key instead. And that's gonna show up another cool glitch with the angular retention.
Nice.
Sadly, that also meant I have to get an arrow upgrade later. I was 2 off, I think. So here, if you play the Ocarina twice, you can skip a cutscene where you show all the dark clouds are spawning in the castle. And it was slightly faster, which was done in the old test as well, to use a saving quit here to skip that. I can't remember how much you say, but it's not that much. All the dark nuts are still being spawned, but we just didn't see it. So like when I get back here, I have to fight the red one. If you keep slashing on the first possible frame when you hit them, they can be stun locked and you can just keep on slashing all the time. It's right here. I take damage, and right now I get the an increment to angle value. So I can push this block diagonal and bypass the outside area to get this key here early. Okay, 2.5 seconds. Yeah, thank you. So now when you have all the 4 keys needed, we can get the the big key, and then it's on to the boss. I found the use of the roll lift to instantly drop the pots without picking them up and throwing them. Here I have to carefully manage my health, because I want to run into this ball and chain in the next room here. And it takes one full heart of damage. The previous TAS didn't have enough health, so I had to walk around it, so I saved a little bit of time here. That slash was done to manipulate this room here, because all the keys are blocking your path. It's practically impossible to get them all to be out of your way. So I still have to go slightly to the side as well as slashing ones. But this is the same R&D that we got in the previous TAS. I couldn't find a way to improve it.
Yeah, I have come up with ways of getting through without slashing, but it doesn't. It's not fast enough. You have to do a lot of dodging.
And this fight,
yeah.
The first TAS I did for this game many years back, I pretty much gave up on the TAS almost because of that room right there. That fight is so hard to set up and do quickly. Then for the second time we did the TAS, then we found a better way to do it, and then I find an even more better way to do it this time around to save more time.
I think the only faster way will be completely skipping that fight, which is right? Yes, it's possible. We can't do it.
So here comes the first fight. There isn't much to say. Normally it's quite annoying to warp around the room. But that's manipulated a bit. He still had to warp once in the final phase.
Yeah, there's no way of avoiding it teleporting once.
And then I'm getting the first arrow drop, because I need a couple of arrows for the last fight.
You were planning on trying to use, I guess, no arrow drop in the whole run, but then we found the angle retention. You had to use more bow shots to solve the puzzle.
So if you hit all these eyes in a quick session, you can skip having the clone Link to kill. And for last phase here, if you spin attack all the eyes in a special way, I can't better explain it. You can just use a normal slash to kill Vati instantly. So you're waiting a little bit to get the perfect setup, and then it's just one slash and it's dead.
That's the ultra quick kill.
And that skips the last cycle of the boss completely. And then it's on to the final fight after this small cutscene. We go by the stairs again, where we did the clip before. And there's a way to clip through right here as well, and enter the next room slightly earlier. But because it's setup done for the clip, it's slightly slower to do it.
It's close, it's framed slower, but it's not faster.
Yeah, the teleport is RNG for the second phase of the fight. That you can clip on those stairs, and instead of rolling through the door opening, you can roll through the wall instead on the left side. But slightly slower.
And now for Vati 3. So the arm that it chooses is based on Link's position at a certain timing in the room, but we RNG manipulate so the arm goes into the ground as soon as possible. And then also that guy to come down immediately at the start of the fight against the entrance and leave as fast as possible. Nice heart drop. Completely unnecessary at this point, but repeat the same thing with the second arm insanely fast.
And yes, I did the portal items to hit the hand earlier with the cane.
Yeah, the amount of time it takes for the arms to go into the ground is random, but that was manipulated to be as short as possible. And also the amount of time it takes for Vati to move from one spot to another in this section is also RNG, but again, just manipulated to be the minimum amount of time. And we're gonna come up in time.
Yeah, it's the last couple hits right there. And this fight actually didn't save any time compared to the old TAS. But that's the final hit.
GG's. So that's the RTA time. It's 1 hour 17. 1 second.
But for a TAS, it's not done yet because a TAS timing starts the timing from powering on the console until the last part of the game, until the last input you need to get to the end. It's like for these cutscenes here, you need to press the buttons to forward the text. So the TAS timing is still running right now. But it is nothing more than just cutscenes. Yeah, that's 5 years of pain and suffering to finish this run. And I'm gonna say it right now, I will not redo this TAS again, no matter what you guys find.
Are you passing the baton on for...
Yeah, someone else has to do it. So if, or rather when Toads finds some new biglets, he can do the TAS himself, I won't care. Yes, Standard, I'm gonna submit this to TAS videos tonight, as well as uploading the run to YouTube as well. You can watch it in its entirety. So because it took so long to make this TAS, like many new things were found during the making, and we kept joking in the community like, "Oh, it's about to finish the TAS. Let's reveal the new big tricks he has to redo again." Sometimes I made myself having to redo things by findings, but a lot of new things were found by Solidified Gaming, such as lag and retention and the Piet clip.
So we've had some gambling going on in chat. People betting on what they thought the most button press button would be over the course of the run, and it's the A button. What are the overall stats?
So now the TAS is done. There's no more text boxes. Well, no, this one more.
Let me go look at them.
And that's time for the TAS. Now we only have the end credits.
So the A button has about 21,000 presses. The B button is only just over 2,000. L we press exactly 5 times because of the 4 fusions and with the Tinker Brothers and then the other fusion.
Time doable RTA. Well, there's still some things that the RTA doesn't go for. As mentioned, the Palace of Winds, because the Commentated is quite hard to do, and you only get one chance, and if you fail, the run is over. And there's like no run that goes for everything that you can theoretically go for. And then, of course, there's so many R&D things that can never be manipulated perfectly in RTA. So I don't really know what the RTA limit is at the moment for this game.
The community sum of best is a 124.25. Honestly, 126 seems to be a human limit. Toads has a high 126 at the moment, and they do have time saves to be made to push it lower, but things start getting ridiculous to be able to get a sub 126.
Thank you, Spider-Man. My brother is here to support me.
Also, shoutouts to Solidified Gaming in chat. She's discovered basically all of the insane tricks over the last 5 years. Angle retention, P-hack clip, Crenel clip, stair clipping, and Ocarina boost. All of that she found.
Yeah, so in comparison to the old TAS, this TAS is a time of 1 hour, 19 minutes and 55 seconds, which is 20 minutes and 21 minutes and 20 seconds faster than the old TAS. If we compare it to the Bisok version. because the old test was done on VBA, which is not an accurate emulator, so yeah, it was resynced. So it's quite a big time save. So yeah, I'm really happy that I'm finally done with this, so I can move on with other things in my life. Because quite often, I didn't have any motivation to struggle with the game, but I didn't want to spend time playing other games because I thought I need to focus on this project before I do anything else. So I always felt bad by doing something else.
I feel the same right now. I want to play some games that are out at the moment, like Age of Mythology, Space Marine 2, and the new Zelda that's coming out later this week as well. And it's yeah, but I need to make a tutorial explaining swamp manipulations.
Oh yeah, Spanner, have fun. No, my next TAS project is a run I've been working on for quite a time as well. This is Crenel Empire Dreams for the Game Boy Advance. It's a platformer game. And after that, I'm going to focus on Four Swords for the DSi. I started some tasking for that a while back, but I want to continue it. But it's also R&D pain, but I think it's going to be a fun task if I can make it. And then after that, I'm going to work on Super Princess Peach, which is also a fun game to task. But yeah, that's the Minish cap. I don't really have anything more to add at the moment. Thanks, Smith, for all you done in the community and all the help you did with the TAS, as well as making the TAS trailer.
Thank you for putting all of this work into the TAS. The level of optimization is insane, and I've learned so much about how what fast movement is and what it entails from analyzing your TASs and the discoveries you made on the minute frame optimization that is behind the TASs.
Yeah, and thanks for you guys watching the run. As mentioned, I'm gonna submit it to TAS videos shortly, as well as uploading it to YouTube, so you can watch it again if you want to. Yeah, that's it for me.
I think that's going to be it for us. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I don't have an end screen, so I'm going to send it back to the start screen. I'll change the text on that to say goodbye, but yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later.
Bye.